We all have these mental maps, right? There are built-in guides, our assumptions about how the world works. But here's the kicker. What happens when the very map you rely on is just plain wrong?
So are you navigating with the wrong map? I mean, really think about that. This question is so important because it gets right to the heart of so many of our frustrations. We try harder, we move faster, we try to think positive, but we still just feel stuck.
And this quote from Stephen Covey just nails it. It's a perfect analogy. It doesn't matter how great your attitude is or how fast you're going if your fundamental map is flawed. You're just getting to the wrong place faster. Which brings us to a really crucial point. We have to stop and examine our maps.
So that's what we're going to do today. Think of this as a tour through a gallery of 4 fascinating and totally different maps of reality. We'll look at a map for personal success, one for inner awareness, and a truly mind-bending map for the entire universe. And then we'll figure out what it all means for you. All right, our first exhibit comes from the work of Stephen Covey. And this one is super practical. It's a map for achieving real, lasting effectiveness in the world. So Covey draws this really sharp distinction. He argued that for the last 50 years or so, a lot of success literature focused on what he called the personality ethic. The quick fixes, the charm techniques, the social band-aids. But his map is based on the character ethic. This is the deep stuff, timeless principles like integrity that build success from the inside out. It's really the difference between just treating a symptom versus actually curing the root problem. And using this character ethic as a foundation, the map shows a path of growth, a journey. We all start off in dependence, right? The paradigm of you. You take care of me, I blame you when things go wrong. Now, a lot of people aim for independence, the I paradigm. I can do it myself, I'm self-reliant. But Covey says the highest form of maturity, the real goal, is interdependence. That's the paradigm of we, where truly independent people choose to work together to achieve things none of them could do alone. All right, so we've looked at a map for the outer world. Now let's completely shift gears and journey into our inner world. Our second exhibit is a map of consciousness itself, and it's based on some really ancient traditions. This map is the chakra system. And you can think of it as viewing the human body not just as a physical machine, but as an energy system. It's often visualized as a ladder that we can climb, moving from our most basic survival instincts up to much higher states of awareness. This ladder shows a pretty clear progression. Let's just touch on 3 key rungs. We start at the bottom, the first chakra, which is all about survival, safety, our connection to our tribe. As we move up, we reach the 4th chakra, the heart, which is our center for love, compassion, and forgiveness. And higher still is the 6th chakra, the famous third eye, which is all about awakening our symbolic sight. The ability to see the deeper meaning behind things, not just what's on the surface. Okay, deep breath. We've gone from the outer world to the inner world. Now we're taking a huge leap to a map that tries to chart, well, everything. This is our most ambitious exhibit by far. We're zooming way out to a model that suggests there's a hidden order to the entire cosmos, one that might even unite physics and scripture. Okay, so the physics part of this map is a theory called helical particle waves. It basically suggests that fundamental particles aren't tiny dots. Instead, they're waves of photons spinning in a double helix shape, kind of like DNA. Proponents claim this model can explain massive forces like gravity without needing really complex ideas like the warping of spacetime. It's a pretty radical proposal to redraw our whole map of physics.
Now, the second half of this map is just as out there. It takes a sacred text, the Quran, and instead of just reading it, it treats it like a system with a deep mathematical architecture. This approach looks for hidden patterns and codes locked inside the text structure itself, completely separate from any traditional interpretation. So, what does this code look like? Well, proponents point to a few things. One idea is called primology, which suggests prime numbers are like a divine signature. For example, the very first chapter has 7 verses, 29 words, and 139 letters, and all 3 of those numbers happen to be additive primes. Then there are these mysterious letters at the start of 29 chapters. The theory says they aren't words at all, but architectural markers that sort the whole book into different thematic sections.
And here is the number that makes people say, this can't be just a coincidence. According to one analysis, the probability of all these complex mathematical patterns showing up by random chance is just 1 in 31,600 trillion. That's a number so huge, it's almost impossible to even imagine. So what's the point of all this? Well, the suggestion is that the text has a kind of built-in verification system. A really great modern analogy is a checksum in computer science. You know, that little piece of data that confirms a file hasn't been corrupted. This map suggests the Quran uses layers of numerical patterns, from word frequencies to geometric structures, to do the same thing. The idea is, if you change just one letter, the whole mathematical system breaks.
And this isn't just an academic exercise. People exploring this want to bring this ancient map into the 21st century. They're talking about using AI to find new patterns, creating interactive apps to let anyone explore the code, and even building VR models to visualize the hidden geometry.
So, after that whirlwind tour through the cosmos and back, we've come full circle. Right back to where we started, with you and your map.
We've just toured 4 totally different models for reality. We saw Covey's map of character, the chakra system as a map of inner energy, and then we dove into the cosmos as a physical structure and scripture as a mathematical code.
And even though they are so different, they all come from the exact same deep-seated human need, the need to make a map in the first place. We're all trying to find some order in the chaos, some meaning in our experience, and a path to walk on.
But in the end, every map we saw today is just that, a model. It's a way of seeing. None of them are the territory itself, and neither is the map you're using right now. So the real question this whole gallery tour leaves us with is this. Looking at your own life, your own frustrations, and your own goals, which parts of your map need to be redrawn?